Hey guys, welcome to podcast 56. It is deer season now and not looking great for me, but we'll see what shows up. Well, I want to I got something for you. I want your opinion on this. I've kind of tossed around some ideas, but I don't know whether it's right or wrong or just seems unethical. Let's say you're hunting a world-class 220-inch deer, whatever, like, and you've been hunting for years, and then some celebrity Instagram, YouTube guy comes in that has killed really big deer, ends up shooting this deer because he's seen a post on Facebook, which led him to go, knock on doors and do this thing. Is that right? Is that wrong? Is it unethical? Is it the neighbors, let's say you're a neighbor. What's your thoughts?
Well, I deal with it every year, so
yeah. But I'm talking like you're the guy hunting this deer, and some guy's never hunted this state shows up, knocks on a neighbor's door just because he's seen it on Facebook or Instagram.
Right. I get what you're saying. I don't like it personally, but there's nothing illegal about it.
Right.
So
it just seems
I'm not a fan. I mean, it's one thing to buy property in an area like, hey, I'm gonna now buy land. I'm going to invest the tax dollars and all this stuff and try and kill that deer on my piece is way different than here's $30,000. Let me hunt your ground to kill that deer.
Yeah, I'm not even saying that. I'm saying permission. Strictly permission, knocking on doors around this area where he's, this guy's got information of where this big deer is living and killing him that way. Like, it doesn't seem ethical to me. If I was a neighbor, I'd be mad. The guy.
Well, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, the guy that shot the deer, and this is recent. And there's going to be, good stuff and bad stuff to come from it. But I'm wondering your point of view. And it just seems almost shady, slipping in on someone's, it's not someone's deer, but on a deer that someone's been hunting and kills them the first 2 or 3 sits. And maybe he's put some other time in scouting and knocking on doors, but it doesn't sit right with me.
No, and I don't think the ethical, I don't know if ethical is the right terminology. I think just there's got to be a different word that's
but you know what I mean. If you're a neighbor and you're putting all the time and energy, and then some guy just comes knocking on doors, and the guy's a great hunter, is that? Yeah, maybe unethical is not the great word for it, but it doesn't.
Right. That's what I'm getting at. Yeah, I don't think there's anything unethical about it. Is it unsportsmanlike? To a degree, but at the same time, anybody can go and knock on anybody's door and get permission. I mean, this guy, I'm putting 2 and 3 and 4 together. This is what he does.
Well, right.
This is what he's known for, and yeah, I get it. I'd be super pissed, but I grew up watching all my deer get killed on DVDs. Yeah. So I'd have all these deer on camera for years and years and years, and then all of a sudden I'd go, all the hunting DVDs, monster bucks and juries and, primetime bucks, all these videos would come out. And I'm like, oh, that's where that deer went. Somebody
a little bit
killed
different scenario.
I know
that, but
I know what you're saying, but I mean, that's where I'm coming from with my opinion on it.
Yeah, no, the guy, I think he's a great guy. I've never met him. It just seems like a topic for discussion because it just happened. He shot a great big deer. This is like his 3rd big deer he shot this year. The guy's a straight killer. But if I'm the neighbor, I'm probably furious right now. And I mean, there's been neighbors that don't like me. I mean, it is what it is. But I'm just.
Oh yeah, I'm right there with you.
This dude that shows up and just diehard hunter, knows what he's doing, ends up getting it done, and it is what it is. But it's definitely a topic. You shoot what makes you happy, but at the same time, this guy found the deer via Instagram, is what I'm told. And
right.
then started to, put the pieces of the puzzle together and finish that puzzle. So,
Right. Yeah. I guess I don't know. I mean, if I put myself in a neighboring landowner position, I absolutely hate it. I'm pissed. I'm calling this guy everything that I possibly can because A, you're jealous that he killed it.
oh, for
B, you you've been putting in just as much time, obviously more time if you're hunting this deer for years, and all of a sudden, poof, he's gone, and it's a hunting celebrity, so I see it. Like I said, I see it both ways. If at the same time, if we had a different life choice as far as our jobs and our family situation, all that stuff, and we didn't have any of that, and that was our job, was to basically hunt and kill big deer, we might be that guy.
oh, it totally might be. That's not us. We're blue collar workers that live to hunt, and it's we've been fortunate over the years. But it's just the fact that this happens out more in the industry than people realize, and it's not just this one guy. It's multiple of those personalities that go out there, and some offer big bucks, some go knocking on doors. I guess there's not a necessary, like, there's not a right way versus a wrong way. It seems to me, if I put myself in the neighbor's shoes, I am very upset with, maybe how that all played out. But it's big deer, get a lot of attention, and there's always things that's positive, and there's some negative things that come with that. So you're always in the spotlight when you shoot big deer, and this guy is always shooting big deer. So
Right. Yeah. And yeah, I guess I'm almost at that point that if it doesn't directly affect me at this point, I really don't care, because if I have an opinion one way, I'm going to get trashed for having an opinion one way. If I have the opposite opinion, I'll get trashed on for that. I mean, I
uh,
don't know. I don't think there's a win. I don't think there's a win-win situation everywhere, because if it's as simple as this guy went and knocked on a door and got permission, the neighbor could have knocked on the
oh,
door and got permission too. That's
yep,
why I don't. That's why when these things happen, in my opinion, there's money involved.
yeah, most of the time I'd say, but in this case there wasn't. And I mean, the guy's a great hunter. Like, he just
Well, that we know. I mean, do you know for a fact he never paid to hunt the deer?
just going off of a few posts, and I mean, I
I
guess
mean, I haven't read into it. I didn't even think it was. I just assumed it was another thing, another big deer that he killed. No ifs, ands, or buts. Whatever.
yeah.
Congrats and move on. But apparently, you've seen something that I haven't.
No, I just seen a couple of posts that I've just some other guy posted on Facebook, and just brought this to light. Like, last year, there's pictures surrounding the deer that he shot of people like feeding it or something, and
Oh,
that's urban stuff. That's what you're hunting. You're hunting mature deer that eat out of people's bird feeders. I mean, it is what it is.
yep.
So, but no, it's a definitely a different game. And I don't see, we tried the urban thing before, and we could only hunt during certain time frames when there wasn't school going on. We had a kid, next door shoot a gun in the air and go hide it, and we had a lot of bucks in the urban hunt. We never did see a doe. We were only allowed to shoot does for the first year, so we could earn a buck. We never even seen a doe, just bucks, and so it wasn't for us. I like going out, being away from the traffic, and being with nature. I mean, I like to get back to, the back 40 and not hear a car go by. Or that's what hunting's about to me. It's different for everybody else, but I enjoy nature.
Yep.
And this year I might be
Yep.
enjoying nature a lot more.
Right. Yeah. It's just everybody's got their own way of doing it. And I think what it boils down to is, no, you're never going to make everybody happy with what you're doing. Especially if you're successful, you're
Oh,
gonna instantly get trashed. I mean, you've had to deal with it. I have gotten it a little bit, but that's just how it is. And
yeah.
as long as they're not doing anything illegal, at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Yep. It's just, you're going to be mad. You're going to be mad, or you're going to have people that like you and people that don't.
Yep. Yep. And one person, it yeah, it's just a weird thing. It's kind of a never ending circle of, it all depends on who's got the issue with it. If, you and your neighbor are not on the same page or are on the same page, and, it doesn't even matter sometimes. They just, people get mad about deer getting shot or
Making something into nothing. And the reason I brought this up because he literally just shot this deer like today, I think, or maybe yesterday. So
I shot it yesterday.
yeah, but it's a great deer. So am I
I mean,
jealous? I'd say I'm a little bit jealous. That thing is huge, but
no, I mean, and there's a difference, and I've had this conversation with you of a bunch. Like you've been fortunate, you've killed a lot of really nice deer, and I'm not jealous in a negative way of it. I'm jealous in the quality and the size of them, but it's not a negative jealousy,
right.
if that makes sense. And
No,
and that's what
it does.
and that's what some people need to understand. Like you could be jealous of, a billionaire. Who wouldn't want to have $1 billion, But that doesn't mean that you hate him because he has it and you don't.
Right.
So it's one of those. It's an admiration thing, I guess. And the thing is, most of these big buck killers are big buck killers every single year.
Every year.
Every single year.
I'd put this certain individual up in the top. I mean, 0.01%. That's what he does.
Yep. Yep. And that's all he has to do.
Right.
I think that's the biggest.
That's his job.
I think in my opinion,
he made it his job.
yep. I think that's the biggest, like, not asterisk. That's probably not the right way to do it. But when you separate people, that's one of them. Is if this is what you do for a job, living, is in the hunting industry where that's all you have to worry about, you're head over heels of already have an advantage against everybody else because
Right.
you can go whenever you can. There's times where I may only hunt once a week because that's all I can allot from my schedule or my kids' schedule, and it may not be the perfect time to hunt. Where these guys are like, oh, well, I can hunt literally every day, twice a day, and pick and choose what they're going to do. So that just the time situation, a lot for.
And he's done it a little bit different as far as that goes with, not having these huge 100 to 200,000 acre farms to do food plots. He's doing it a little bit different than everybody else, but he's killing bigger deer than most everybody. So he's doing it his way, and that's in no way, shape, or form the right or wrong way, but it's what he chose to do. And I think this one wasn't in that, the urban setting. So
No, it wasn't an urban one from everything I've gathered. But yeah, I mean that kind of, we can kind of teeter off that a little bit and go, the different ways that some of these guys go about it is, you have your urban's a big one. Your, like I mentioned, paying for deer, as far as finding them and basically paying for permission to lease stuff that big deer on, or buying ground. I mean, there's a lot of people that are just constantly buying ground. Once you have the money to afford it, that's probably the best bet to do is honestly to buy the ground, because then you always have that. You always have. It's basically like a bank. You're storing your money there.
It's the best investment literally on earth.
Yeah, 100%.
And then you have people that get permission farms, door knock, which I'd say 95% of people fall into that category. It might be a little high, but as far as our friends and our crew goes, that's probably where that number would lie.
I'd say most of it's permission stuff. Then you boil into the public stuff, and just land it's not for everybody. It takes a certain situation to do it, really.
And kind of what I was getting at more or less when I asked that question, what your thought was, because I've been that neighbor before, and I know you have, where I had guys who I called friends, go in and try to, knock on the neighbor's door or call and try to get permission, when I was hunting one of the big deer I shot. And so I understand where they're coming from, and that being that landowner or neighbor, if someone would have knocked on the door and ended up shooting them on public, on private, would I have been mad? Probably. But at the end of the day, it's just a deer, whether it's a 100-inch deer or 200-inch deer. It's just a deer, and life goes on. So
Yep, it stings. You know, it does. I mean, and then there's stuff you never hear about. Like we've talked about that, that mini maybe buck, and you've been told he got killed, and to this day, 3 years later, we've never seen any evidence of it. So
yeah, but
I can't.
Or then I bet a lot of people realize where old Tom's got him in the basement on a skull,
Right.
know what he shot, and he doesn't care, and it's a deer to him. And not everybody runs in the social media circle or that side of things in this world. Some people don't have Facebook, don't have internet, they still have a flip phone or landline. Like you might not ever hear about it, but from someone that I heard it through, it's pretty decent source, and he's not a deer hunter and he doesn't give a crap. So you may
Right.
go to the guy's door, knock on his door, and ask for the story, and you can put a period after the end of that sentence. But it's
Right.
yeah, big deer, drive you crazy, and I've been in that place where I'm antsy and anxious, and anxiety's running high, and I'm trying to shoot a big deer. And this year I don't have that problem, which is maybe a good thing. The EHD really took a hit, and I think maybe we can jump into the next podcast, after this one, and discuss kind of where we're at with seasons. Early muzzleloader season starts this weekend, and we can talk about some of our team members harvesting deer and go from there.
Yeah. We'll cut this one off, and then we'll jump on podcast 57 to kind of play catch up a little bit. We've been so busy with family stuff, we haven't been able to make a time, so we're playing catch up. So we'll finish 56 right now, and stay tuned for the next one. It'll be right now. So.